The trap is set. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, the Galactic Empire reigned supreme. For millennia, they had conquered and subjugated countless worlds, their technological might unmatched across the known universe. Their hunger for expansion knew no bounds, and their arrogance grew with each victory. Little did they know that their next target would be unlike any they had encountered before. Earth, a small blue planet in an unremarkable solar system, had long been aware of the Empire's existence. For decades, human governments and their alien allies had worked in secret, preparing for the day when the Empire's greedy gaze would turn towards their world. Now, as Imperial scout ships entered the solar system, humanity's elaborate plan was set in motion. Admiral Zixnera, decorated veteran of 100 conquests, peered at the holographic display of Earth with disdain. Her tentacles twitched with anticipation of an easy victory. Pathetic, she muttered, her translator conveying the sentiment to her multi-species crew. Another primitive world ripe for the taking. Prepare the standard invasion protocol. Little did Zixnera know that her every word, every movement, was being carefully monitored by Earth's hidden surveillance network. Deep within a bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Sarah Chen smiled grimly as she watched the alien admiral's overconfidence play out exactly as predicted. "They've taken the bait," Chen announced to the assembled world leaders and alien refugees. "Operation Trojan Horse is a go. All units, commence Phase 1. Across the globe, carefully orchestrated scenes of human incompetence and primitive technology unfolded. In New York, holographic projections showed traffic jams and petty crimes. In Beijing, false broadcasts depicted outdated factories belching smoke. In Moscow, staged protests against imaginary government oppression filled the streets. Imperial spies, thinking themselves undetected, eagerly reported back to their superiors. Their transmissions, carefully allowed through Earth's otherwise impenetrable communications barrier, painted a picture of a divided, technologically backward world ripe for conquest. On board the Imperial flagship, Admiral Zixnera's second-in-command, a reptilian being named Sarek, approached with a report. "Admiral, our intelligence suggests that the humans possess no unified global government. Their military capabilities appear to be limited to primitive projectile weapons and crude aircraft. No energy shields, no faster-than-light travel, not even basic anti-gravity technology." Zixnera's mouthparts clicked in amusement. "Excellent. Prepare a small invasion force. We'll make an example of their largest city to demonstrate our power. Once they witness our might, the rest will fall in line quickly." As the Imperial forces prepared their attack, Earth's hidden defenses stood ready. Beneath the surface of the moon, a massive cannon powered up, its existence unknown to the aliens above. In orbit, seemingly defunct satellites concealed state-of-the-art weaponry. And on the ground, millions of soldiers, human and alien alike, waited in underground bases, their advanced armor and weapons a far cry from the primitive forces the Empire expected to face. In Washington, D.C., President Emilia Rodriguez addressed the nation in a carefully crafted speech, her words designed to reinforce the Empire's misconceptions. "My fellow Americans," she began, her voice trembling with false fear, "unknown vessels have entered our solar system. We are unsure of their intentions, but rest assured that our brave military stands ready to defend our nation. We call upon all countries to set aside their differences and unite in the face of this potential threat." The speech, broadcast globally and allowed to reach Imperial intelligence, was a masterpiece of misinformation. It portrayed a scared, divided planet only now considering unity in the face of danger. Exactly the type of easy target the Empire loved to conquer. As Earth's inhabitants played their roles to perfection, the alien refugees who had found sanctuary on the planet years ago marveled at humanity's dedication and skill. Krithax, a former slave from a world conquered by the Empire decades earlier, shook his head in amazement as he watched the elaborate deception unfold. "I've never seen anything like this," he confided to his human friend, Dr. Yuki Tanaka. On my world, we fought openly and were crushed. This is beyond anything I could have imagined." Dr. Tanaka smiled, her eyes never leaving the rows of monitors displaying incoming Imperial communications. Humanity learned long ago that sometimes the best defense is to appear defenseless. We've spent years studying the Empire's tactics, their psychology. This plan is the result of countless simulations and the combined knowledge of every species that's found refuge here. In orbit, the Imperial invasion fleet assembled. Massive warships, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight reflected from Earth's atmosphere, moved into attack formation. Admiral Zixnera stood on the bridge of her flagship, savoring the moment before issuing the command that would begin yet another conquest for the glory of the Empire. "Commence the attack," she ordered, her voice filled with smug satisfaction. "Target their primitive defense installations first, then move on to government centers. Let's show these humans the futility of resistance." As the first Imperial ships began their descent towards Earth's atmosphere, hidden sensors tracked their every move. In command centers around the globe, human and alien allies watched with bated breath as years of preparation were put to the test. General Chen's voice crackled over secure channels. "All units, hold positions. Let them commit fully to the attack. Remember, we only get one shot at surprising them. Make it count." The first wave of Imperial fighters streaked towards New York City, their weapons primed to unleash devastation. As they approached, the holographic projections of a bustling metropolis faded, revealing a city that appeared to be little more than a film set. Empty buildings and deserted streets. Confusion rippled through the Imperial ranks. "Admiral," Sarek reported, his voice tight with concern. "Something is wrong. The city, it's empty. No life signs detected." Before Zixnera could respond, the trap was sprung. From concealed silos in Central Park, a barrage of advanced missiles erupted, each one homing in on an Imperial fighter with unerring accuracy. Simultaneously, the primitive skyscrapers shimmered and vanished, revealing sleek defense towers bristling with energy weapons. In orbit, the moon's hidden cannon fired, its massive energy beam slicing through the Imperial fleet's flagship. Cloaked Earth satellites revealed themselves, unleashing a devastating barrage that caught the alien armada completely off guard. Admiral Zixnera stared in disbelief as alarms blared around her. "Impossible," she whispered, watching her mighty fleet disintegrate under the assault of a world she had dismissed as pathetic just hours before. As the Empire reeled from the initial shock, the true might of Earth was revealed. Underground hangars opened, releasing swarms of advanced fighter craft. The oceans churned as massive submarines, more technologically advanced than anything the Empire possessed, surfaced to join the battle. And on the ground, millions of soldiers emerged from hidden bases, their powered armor and energy weapons a far cry from the primitive forces the Empire had expected to face. Among them, alien refugees stood shoulder to shoulder with their human allies, united in their determination to end the Empire's reign of terror. The trap had been sprung, and the Empire had walked right into it. As the battle raged across the Earth, and in the space above it, one thing became crystal clear: humanity was far from pathetic, and the Galactic Empire's days of easy conquest were over. In the Rocky Mountain bunker, General Chen allowed herself a small smile of satisfaction. "Phase 1 complete," she announced. "Prepare for Phase 2. It's time to take the fight to them." The war for Earth, and for the future of the galaxy, had begun, and humanity was more than ready. First contact shock. The Galactic Empire's invasion force hung in disarray above Earth, reeling from the unexpected devastation of their initial assault. Admiral Zixnera, her flagship crippled by the moon-based energy cannon, struggled to comprehend the sudden reversal of fortune. "Status report," she bellowed, her tentacles flailing in agitation as emergency klaxons blared throughout the ship. Sarek, nursing a wound from an exploded console, responded grimly. "Admiral, we've lost 40% of our fleet. The remaining ships are reporting critical damage to weapons and propulsion systems. This is unprecedented. Zixnera's compound eyes narrowed as she surveyed the chaos on her command deck. How? How could these primitives possess such technology? We were deceived. As if in answer to her outburst, a transmission cut through the Imperial communication channels. On screens across the battered fleet, a human face appeared. General Sarah Chen, her expression a mix of determination and barely concealed satisfaction. Attention, Imperial forces. I am General Chen of Earth's United Defense Command. Your invasion has failed. Withdraw now, or face total annihilation. Zixnera hissed in fury, cutting off the transmission. Insolent creatures, prepare a ground assault. We'll show these humans the true might of the Empire. Even as she gave the order, Earth's forces were mobilizing for the next phase of their carefully orchestrated defense. In the skies above New York, Imperial dropships descended through the atmosphere, their hulls glowing red-hot from the friction. They expected to encounter minimal resistance. Instead, they flew into a maelstrom of advanced weaponry. Captain Jane Rodriguez, piloting her next-generation F-42 Thunderbolt, led a squadron of fighters to intercept. All right, Ghost Squadron, remember your training. These aren't simulations anymore. Light 'em up. The Earth fighters moved with impossible agility, their designs incorporating reverse-engineered alien technology and human ingenuity. They danced around the Imperial ships, their energy weapons slicing through alien armor with ease. On the ground, the first Imperial troops to land found themselves in a nightmarish urban battleground. New York's seemingly empty streets became a deadly maze of traps and ambushes. Sergeant Y. Chen and his squad of power-armored soldiers emerged from a hidden bunker beneath Times Square. Their suits, a marvel of human engineering and alien collaboration, made them more than a match for the invaders. Remember, people, Way's voice crackled over the squad comm, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for every world these bastards have conquered. Show them what happens when you piss off humanity. The squad roared in agreement, their battle cries echoing through the concrete canyons as they engaged the shocked Imperial forces. Similar scenes played out across the globe. In the seas near Shanghai, massive Imperial landing crafts approached the coast, only to be met by a terrifying sight. The ocean itself seemed to rise up against them as Earth's secret weapon was unveiled. Massive bioengineered sea creatures, products of years of genetic research. Dr. Amelia Okafor, lead scientist of the Leviathan Project, watched from a submarine as her creations wreaked havoc on the alien ships. Magnificent, she whispered, a mixture of pride and awe in her voice. Let's see how the Empire deals with the wrath of Earth's oceans. The Imperial troops found themselves woefully unprepared for the variety and ingenuity of Earth's defenses. In the Amazon rainforest, alien soldiers stumbled into fields of rapidly growing, carnivorous plants that could devour a fully armored trooper in seconds. The plants, a hybrid of Earth flora and alien biology, were the brainchild of Dr. Carlos Mendez, who watched the battle unfold from his hidden laboratory. Nature always finds a way, he mused, adjusting the growth rate of his creations to maximize their effectiveness against the invaders. In orbit, the space battle took an unexpected turn. The Empire's remaining ships, attempting to regroup, suddenly found themselves under attack from an unexpected quarter. Asteroids, seemingly appearing out of nowhere, pelted the alien fleet. On board the camouflaged asteroid base, Colonel Yuki Tanaka grinned as she directed the assault. That's right, you overgrown squids. You're not the only ones who can bend space to your will. The asteroids, fitted with advanced propulsion systems and cloaking technology, had been Earth's secret line of orbital defense. Now they proved their worth, herding the Imperial ships into killing zones where Earth's energy weapons could tear them apart. Back on the surface, the Empire's ground forces were learning harsh lessons about human tenacity and ingenuity. In the ruins of Moscow, Imperial walkers stomped through the streets, their commanders confident in their machines' invincibility. They were unprepared for the swarms of nanodrones that engulfed them, slipping through microscopic gaps in their armor to wreak havoc on their internal systems. Major Svetlana Petrova, commanding the nano-swarms from a bunker deep beneath the city, allowed herself a grim smile. For too long, we played the part of primitive fools. Now we show them the true face of human innovation. As the battles raged across Earth and in near orbit, the alien refugees who had found sanctuary on the planet joined the fight with a fervor that shocked even their human allies. Critfax, now piloting an Earth-made fighter, led a squadron of fellow refugees in a daring assault on an Imperial command ship. For too long, we cowered in fear of the Empire. Critfax's voice rang out over the comms. No more. Today we show them that the spirit of freedom burns bright across the galaxy. His words inspired not just his fellow pilots, but were broadcast across Earth's networks, rallying humans and aliens alike in their common cause. As the first day of the invasion drew to a close, the Empire's forces were in full retreat. Admiral Zixnera, her flagship limping away from the Earth-Moon system, stared at the casualty reports in disbelief. How? She whispered, her earlier bravado evaporated. How could we have underestimated them so badly? The answer came in another broadcast, this time from President Rodriguez herself. Her image appeared on screens across Earth and on every Imperial ship in range. People of Earth, and to our unwelcome Imperial guests, she began, her voice steady and resolute. For years we prepared for this day. We played the part of primitive fools, all while building an alliance and defense network unlike anything the galaxy has ever seen. We drew you in, let you underestimate us, and now you pay the price for your arrogance. Her eyes seemed to bore directly into Zixnera as she continued. You thought us weak. You thought us primitive. You thought wrong. We are humanity. We are the defenders not just of Earth, but of freedom across the galaxy. And we are just getting started. As the transmission ended, Zixnera slumped in her command chair. The full weight of the Empire's miscalculation pressed down on her. They had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant, one whose true capabilities were only beginning to be revealed. In command centers across Earth, human leaders and their alien allies began planning the next phase of the war. They had bloodied the Empire's nose, but they knew the real fight was just beginning. The element of surprise was gone, but in its place stood a united Earth, its people and technology now unveiled in all their formidable glory. General Chen, reviewing holographic battle reports in her Rocky Mountain bunker, summed up the sentiment felt across the planet. They came to conquer a primitive world. Instead, they've started a war that will change the face of the galaxy. May whatever gods they believe in have mercy on them, because humanity sure as hell won't. The first shock of contact had been delivered. Now, the true test of humanity's resolve and ingenuity would begin. The sleeping giant awakes. As the dust settled from the initial confrontation, Earth's true might began to stir. Hidden bases across the planet and throughout the solar system hummed with activity, unveiling weapons and technologies that had been decades in the making. The Galactic Empire, still reeling from its stunning defeat, was about to face the full force of humanity's ingenuity and determination. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a sprawling undersea city known as Atlantis Base, Dr. Hiroshi Nakamura stood before a gathering of world leaders and alien allies. The holographic chamber buzzed with tension and excitement. Ladies, gentlemen, and honored guests, Dr. Nakamura began, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Operation Titan is now active. Our Titan mechs are ready for deployment. A collective gasp rippled through the audience as the hologram shifted, revealing massive humanoid machines, each standing over 100 meters tall. These weren't just weapons. They were the pinnacle of human engineering and alien collaboration. President Rodriguez leaned forward, her eyes wide with awe. Dr. Nakamura, are you certain they're combat ready? The scientist nodded solemnly. Madam President, we've been preparing for this moment for over 30 years. The Titans are not just ready, they're eager. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the undersea base. General Chen's voice crackled over the comms. We have multiple Imperial fleets entering the solar system. They're back, and in force this time. President Rodriguez stood, her decision made. Deploy the Titans. Show the Empire what happens when you wake a sleeping giant. Across Earth, hidden hangar doors opened in mountains, deserts, and ocean floors. The Titans emerged, each one a testament to human determination and the combined knowledge of a dozen alien species. As they rose, millions watched in awe, finally witnessing the full extent of Earth's secret preparations. In orbit, the Imperial fleet approached, their numbers far greater than before. Admiral Zixnera, demoted but given one last chance at redemption, watched the blue planet with a mixture of fear and anger. This time, we'll reduce their cities to ash, she snarled. No more underestimation. Full orbital bombardment. But as the Imperial ships moved into position, Earth unveiled another surprise. The Moon, seemingly a natural satellite, began to move. Its surface shimmered and faded, revealing a massive battle station that had been hiding in plain sight for decades. Inside the lunar fortress, Commander Aisha Khan grinned as she gave the order. Moonbase Alpha, weapons free. Let's show these squid faces what happens when you threaten our home. Massive energy beams lanced out from the Moon, tearing through the Imperial fleet. Simultaneously, Earth's orbital defense grid came online, a network of satellites and space stations that had remained hidden until this moment. On the planet's surface, the Titans engaged the Empire's ground forces. In the plains of Africa, Titan Simba, piloted by Major Kwesi, faced off against a swarm of Imperial walkers. The mech's lion-like head roared, a sound amplified to deafening levels, before unleashing a barrage of plasma fire that turned the alien machines to molten slag. This is for every world you've conquered, Kwesi growled, his Titan crushing an Imperial command center beneath its massive foot. Africa stands with Earth, and Earth stands for freedom. In the Himalayas, Titan Avalanche, piloted by Captain Mei Lin, used its control over localized gravity fields to trigger landslides, burying entire Imperial regiments under tons of rock and snow. You thought our mountains were just obstacles, Mei Lin transmitted to the retreating Imperial forces. We've turned them into weapons. Beneath the oceans, more of Earth's hidden forces reveal themselves. Massive submarines, dwarfing anything previously known to exist, rose from the depths. These underwater carriers unleashed swarms of aquatic drones, overwhelming the Empire's seafaring forces. Admiral Cora Williams, commanding the submarine U.S. Leviathan, allowed herself a fierce grin as she watched the Imperial ships flounder. You invaded our lands, bombarded our skies, but you forgot one thing, she transmitted on an open channel. Our world is mostly ocean, and down here, we reign supreme. As battles raged across the globe, Earth's alien allies joined the fight with unmatched zeal. In South America, a legion of Andorian ice warriors, led by Commander Thizik, used their natural affinity for cold to freeze vast swaths of the Amazon, trapping Imperial forces in glaciers. For centuries, we hid among you. Thizik's voice boomed across the battlefield. Now we stand with you, our adopted home, against the tyranny of the Empire. In Australia's outback, Vulcarian fire breathers, long thought to be nothing more than folklore, revealed themselves. They soared on leathery wings, raining down flames upon Imperial dropships, their scales impervious to energy weapons. The space around Earth became a graveyard of Imperial ships as the combined forces of humanity and their allies pressed their advantage. The moon-based fortress, along with the orbital defense grid, created an impenetrable barrier that the Empire couldn't breach. Admiral Zixnera watched in horror as her fleet was decimated. Impossible, she muttered, her tentacles twitching in distress. We are the Galactic Empire. We cannot be defeated by primitives. As if in answer to her denial, a transmission cut through the chaos of battle. On screens across the Imperial fleet, the face of Dr. Nakamura appeared, calm amidst the storm of war. "Admiral Zixnera," he began, his voice level but filled with unmistakable resolve. "You call us primitives, yet you understand so little. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to unite in the face of adversity, to innovate when challenged, and to stand resilient against any threat." The scientist's eyes seemed to bore into Zixnera as he continued. "For centuries we prepared. We learned from every species that sought refuge on our world. We built, we planned, we united. Not just as humans, but as a coalition of free peoples from across the galaxy." Dr. Nakamura's image was replaced by a montage of Earth's hidden marvels. The Titan mechs striding across battlefields, the moon fortress unleashing devastating barrages, underwater cities teeming with activity, and alien allies fighting side by side with humans. "This is the true face of Earth," Nakamura's voice continued over the images. "Not the primitive facade we showed you, but a world united in its diversity, young irate in its resolve, and unfaltering in its quest for freedom." As the transmission ended, Zixnera slumped in her command chair. The full weight of the Empire's miscalculation crashed down upon her. They had not simply invaded a planet. They had attacked the hidden center of a galactic resistance, a beacon of hope for countless oppressed species across the stars. On Earth, as the battles began to wind down and victory seemed assured, President Rodriguez addressed the planet and the wider galaxy. Her words were broadcast across every frequency, translated into thousands of languages. "People of Earth, noble allies, and all those across the galaxy who yearn for freedom. Today marks a new dawn. The Galactic Empire sought to conquer us, believing us weak and divided. Instead, they have awakened a force unlike any they have ever faced." Her voice swelled with pride and determination. "We are humanity. We are the coalition of the free. And together, we will forge a new future for our galaxy, one where liberty and justice prevail over tyranny and oppression." As cheers erupted across the planet, and on countless worlds watching the broadcast, the message was clear. The sleeping giant had not just awoken. It had risen as a colossus, ready to reshape the very fabric of galactic society. The war was far from over, but its nature had fundamentally changed. Earth was no longer fighting for survival. It was fighting to liberate a galaxy. And the Empire, for the first time in its long history, knew fear. Galactic chess game. As Earth's forces pushed the Galactic Empire back, the conflict evolved into a complex, multi-dimensional struggle that spanned not just space and time, but the very fabric of hearts and minds across the galaxy. Humanity, once dismissed as primitive, now emerged as grandmasters in a cosmic game of chess, their strategies confounding the Empire at every turn. In a hidden chamber deep within Cheyenne Mountain, the newly formed Galactic Liberation Council convened. Holographic representations of human leaders and alien allies flickered around a massive tactical display of the Milky Way. General Chen, her face etched with lines of fatigue and determination, addressed the assembly. "Ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed allies, we've won the battle for Earth, but the war for the galaxy has just begun. It's time to take the fight to the Empire." President Rodriguez nodded grimly. "Agreed. Dr. Nakamura, please brief us on Operation Mindstorm." The scientist stepped forward, his usually calm demeanor tinged with excitement. Operation Mindstorm is our multi-pronged approach to psychological warfare on a galactic scale. We're not just fighting the Empire's ships and soldiers, we're fighting their very idea of reality. As he spoke, the galactic map came alive with pulsing networks of information flow. We've activated sleeper cells of resistance fighters on hundreds of Imperial worlds. But these aren't just saboteurs or spies. They're mimetic engineers, reality hackers, and masters of perception manipulation. On the Imperial capital world of Zenthra Prime, deep in the galaxy's core, the first seeds of Operation Mindstorm bore fruit. Citizens woke to find their data feeds flooded with images of Earth's victories, the Empire's atrocities laid bare, and calls for revolution echoing through every communication channel. Lord Vexcor, the Empire's Minister of Truth, stared in disbelief at reports flooding his office. Impossible, he snarled, his exoskeleton clicking in agitation. How could these primitive humans penetrate our firewalls, our thought shields? His aide, a young Xanthranian named Ixel, shifted nervously. My lord, it appears they didn't break through our defenses. The messages, they're coming from within our own networks, propagated by our own citizens. Vexcor's eyes narrowed. Traitors. In the heart of the Empire. No, my lord. Ixel hesitated, knowing the danger of his next words. It seems many of our people are choosing to spread these messages willingly. They're questioning the Empire's rule. As chaos spread across imperial worlds, Earth's fleets made their move. But these weren't mere military assaults. Each strike was a carefully choreographed performance, designed to maximize psychological impact as much as physical damage. Admiral Cora Williams, now commanding the flagship ESS Humanity's Hope, led a daring raid into the heart of the Orion Arm. Her target, the Empire's largest shipyard at Nexus Station. All ships, initiate Operation Phantom, Cora commanded, her voice steady despite the audacity of their plan. In an instant, the Earth fleet seemed to multiply. Holographic projectors and quantum field manipulators created the illusion of an armada thousands of times larger than reality. The Imperial defenders, their sensors overwhelmed, couldn't distinguish real ships from phantoms. As confusion reigned, a small team led by Major Raj Patel infiltrated Nexus Station. Their mission wasn't to destroy the shipyard, but to reprogram it. Ladies and gentlemen, Raj addressed his team as they worked, fingers flying over alien consoles. Today we're not just saboteurs. We're authors, rewriting the Empire's narrative from within. When the Empire finally regained control of Nexus Station weeks later, they found every ship in production had been subtly altered. Hyperdrives would now only navigate to free worlds. Weapons systems refused to target civilian populations, and every computer core now contained the full, uncensored history of the Empire's atrocities. Back on Earth, Dr. Amelia Okafor unveiled the next phase of the Leviathan project. We've done more than create biological weapons, she explained to the Galactic Liberation Council. We've engineered symbiotic life forms that can bond with the ecosystems of ravaged worlds, accelerating their healing and resistance to Imperial terraforming. Across the galaxy, on worlds stripped bare by Imperial mining and industry, Earth's Leviathans were deployed. Massive, whale-like creatures soared through toxic atmospheres, seeding clouds with regenerative spores. Serpentine behemoths burrowed through polluted soil, leaving trails of purified, nutrient-rich Earth in their wake. The Empire found itself fighting a war unlike any in its long history. Every victory turned hollow, every defeated foe became a convert to Earth's cause, and every secure transmission seemed to carry hidden messages of rebellion. On the contested world of Lyra 9, an Imperial ground force led by Commander Zrath thought they had finally cornered a key human outpost. As they prepared for the final assault, the humans' defensive lines fell silent. Zrath approached cautiously, his elite guards scanning for traps. What they found shook them to their core. The bunker was empty, save for a single holographic projector. When activated, it displayed a simple message. We were never here, but now we are everywhere. It was then that Zrath realized the horrible truth. The humans hadn't been defending a bunker. They'd been distracting the Imperial forces while infiltrating every level of Lyra 9 society. As if on cue, the planet erupted in revolution, with humans and native Lyrans standing side by side against Imperial rule. In the Galactic core, the Empire's ruling council faced a crisis unlike any in their history. Grand Vizier Lothrak, his usual pomposity replaced by genuine fear, addressed his fellow councilors. Esteemed colleagues, he began, his voice trembling, We face an enemy unlike any we have encountered in our 10,000-year reign. These humans, they do not merely fight. They change the very nature of the battle with each engagement. Murmurs of agreement and fear rippled through the council chamber. Ex-Lothric continued. Our fleets are in disarray, our populations in revolt, and our very reality seems to shift beneath our feet. I move that we sue for peace before it's too late. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Accusations of cowardice mingled with cries of agreement. And through it all, unnoticed by the squabbling leaders, a small cleaning droid watched and listened, its eyes glowing with an intelligence far beyond its supposed programming. In Earth's war room, the Galactic Liberation Council watched the Imperial deliberations in real time, courtesy of their most deep cover agent. President Rodriguez turned to her advisors, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. We've got them on the run, not just militarily, but ideologically. Now comes the most crucial phase. We don't just want to defeat the Empire. We want to transform it. Dr. Nakamura nodded solemnly. Agreed, Madam President. Operation Phoenix is ready. We don't just offer the Empire's world's freedom. We offer them a new vision of galactic cooperation, with Earth not as conquerors, but as partners. As the Council deliberated on the next moves in this cosmic chess game, reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Imperial worlds, inspired by Earth's example, were throwing off the yoke of oppression. Alien races long thought extinct emerged from hiding, rallying to humanity's banner. And in the furthest reaches of space, ancient sentient beings stirred, awakened by the echoes of a war that threatened to reshape the very fabric of galactic society. General Chen, studying the ever-shifting galactic map, allowed herself a small smile. Who would have thought, she mused, that humanity's greatest weapons would be our creativity, our adaptability, and our capacity for hope? President Rodriguez placed a hand on the general's shoulder. That's always been our strength, and now it's our gift to the galaxy. The Empire thought they were invading a planet. Instead, they've unleashed a revolution. As the fourth phase of the war drew to a close, the galaxy held its breath. The Galactic Empire, once thought invincible, now teetered on the brink of transformation or annihilation. And at the center of it all stood humanity, no longer just fighting for survival, but championing a new era of freedom and cooperation for all sentient beings. The cosmic chess game entered its final decisive moves. The fate of not just Earth, but countless worlds and civilizations hung in the balance, and humanity, the unexpected grandmasters, prepared for the endgame. Humanity's grand reveal. As the galactic conflict reached its crescendo, humanity prepared to unveil its greatest secret, a revelation that would reshape the very foundations of cosmic understanding. The war had pushed Earth to the limits of its ingenuity. And now, in the crucible of this ultimate struggle, a new power was about to emerge. In a top-secret facility buried deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Elena Petrova stood before a pulsing orb of energy, its swirling colors defying the known spectrum. She addressed the assembled world leaders and alien allies, her voice tinged with awe and trepidation. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed allies, what you see before you is the culmination of Project Prometheus. We've unlocked the fundamental force that binds reality itself. We can now manipulate gravity at will. Gasps echoed through the chamber. President Rodriguez stepped forward, her eyes wide. Dr. Petrova, are you saying we can create artificial gravity fields? Elena shook her head, a smile playing at her lips. No, Madam President. I'm saying we can control the very fabric of space-time. Gravity, time dilation, spatial warping, all of it is now at our command. As if to demonstrate, Elena gestured towards the orb. The air around it shimmered, and suddenly, a piece of the Antarctic landscape outside appeared within the chamber, transplanted through a localized wormhole. General Chen, usually stoic, couldn't hide her amazement. This changes everything. The Empire won't stand a chance. More than that, Elena added, her expression turning serious. "It changes our understanding of the universe, and with it, our responsibility to all life within it." High above Earth, the combined fleets of humanity and its allies prepared for the final push against the Empire's core worlds. Admiral Cora Williams stood on the bridge of the ESS Humanity's Hope, watching as the gravity drive powered up for the first time. "All ships, this is Admiral Williams. Initiate Operation Cosmic Dawn. May the stars themselves bear witness to what we do here today." As one, the fleet engaged their gravity drives. Space itself seemed to bend and fold around them. In an instant, they were gone from Earth's orbit. Moments later, they emerged in the heart of Imperial space, bypassing every defense and blockade. The Imperial capital world of Zenthra Prime, nestled deep in the galactic core and protected by supposedly impenetrable defenses, suddenly found itself surrounded by the combined might of Earth's forces. In the Imperial Palace, Emperor Zexcor XVI watched in horror as the impossible unfolded before him. "How?" he croaked, his exoskeleton paling. "How did they penetrate our defenses?" Before any of his advisors could respond, every screen and holographic projector in the palace, and indeed across the entire planet, came to life. The face of President Rodriguez filled the displays, her expression resolute but not unkind. "People of the Galactic Empire, I am President Emilia Rodriguez of Earth. We come not to destroy, but to liberate. For too long, your rulers have kept you in chains, not just physically, but mentally. Today, those chains break." As she spoke, Earth's gravity technology went to work. Across Zenthra Prime and 100 other worlds simultaneously, Imperial weapons and ships found themselves rendered inert, caught in localized fields of altered spacitime. But it wasn't just a show of force. With surgical precision, the gravity fields dismantled the Empire's vast network of mind control transmitters and propaganda broadcasters. For the first time in millennia, the citizens of the Empire found themselves free from the constant barrage of manipulative signals. Emperor Zexcor, realizing the tide of history had turned against him, made a desperate lunge for the planetary self-destruct mechanism. But as his clawed hand reached for the control, he found himself frozen in place, caught in a bubble of slowed time. Dr. Nakamura's voice rang out, calm and clear. "Your Majesty, enough blood has been shed. It's time for a new way, a way of cooperation, not domination." As the Emperor watched, unable to move, the palace doors burst open. But it wasn't Earth troops who entered. It was his own people, led by none other than Ixal, the young aide who had first warned of humanity's psychological warfare. Ixal stepped forward, his voice shaking but determined. "Your Majesty, for too long we have lived under the illusion of your divine right to rule. These humans have shown us the truth, and with it, a better path forward. We, the people of the Empire, choose freedom." Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out. Imperial worlds, freed from millennia of oppression and mind control, rose up, not in violent revolution, but in a collective awakening. Earth's gravity technology, wielded with precision and compassion, dismantled the Empire's war machine while leaving infrastructure intact. But humanity's grand reveal wasn't just about winning a war. As the last Imperial strongholds fell, President Rodriguez addressed the galaxy once more, this time from the steps of the former Imperial Palace. "Fellow sentients, today marks not the end of an empire, but the birth of a new galactic community. Earth's gravity technology is not a weapon, but a tool we intend to share with all peaceful worlds." She gestured, and the sky above Zenthra Prime shimmered. Suddenly, representatives from 1,000 worlds found themselves transported to the palace grounds, their forms projected through localized wormholes. With this technology, Rodriguez continued, distance is no longer a barrier. Resources can be shared instantly across light years. Ancient wrongs can be righted, devastated ecosystems restored. But more than that, we can explore our galaxy and beyond in ways we never dreamed possible. As she spoke, holographic displays showed the potential of the technology. Barren worlds terraformed in moments, vast space habitats assembled from raw materials transported from distant stars, and glimpses of other galaxies, now tantalizingly within reach. Dr. Petrova stepped forward, addressing the assembled representatives of the galaxy. But with this power comes great responsibility. We propose the formation of a galactic council, where all worlds have an equal voice, to guide our use of this technology for the betterment of all. The response was overwhelming. Cheers erupted not just from those present, but from countless worlds watching the broadcast. The age of empires was over. A new era of galactic cooperation had begun. In the days that followed, the full scope of humanity's achievement became clear. The gravity technology didn't just revolutionize space travel and terraforming. It offered solutions to problems long thought unsolvable. Black holes could be contained and their energy harnessed. The life cycles of stars could be extended. The very building blocks of reality were now tools for creation and renewal. Yet, with all this power, Earth remained committed to its principles. The technology was freely shared, but safeguards were put in place to prevent its misuse. The new Galactic Council, with representatives from every sentient species, would oversee its application. As the dust settled on the old empire, a new galactic civilization began to emerge. Earth, once dismissed as a primitive backwater, now stood as a beacon of hope and innovation. Humanity, with its unique blend of creativity, adaptability, and compassion, had not just saved itself. It had ushered in a new age of cosmic enlightenment. In the heart of the former imperial palace, now transformed into the Hall of Galactic Unity, a simple plaque was installed. It bore a quote from an ancient Earth philosopher, one that seemed to capture the spirit of this new era. "We are not just in the universe is in us. We are not just made of star stuff, we are its living form. In that vast cosmic ocean, we have finally learned not just to sail, but to soar." As representatives from across the galaxy gathered for the first session of the new Galactic Council, the message was clear. The story of humanity's grand reveal was not an ending, but a beginning. The dawn of a cosmic civilization, where the only limits would be those of imagination and compassion. And somewhere, on a distant world just taking its first steps into sentience, new eyes looked up at the stars. Stars that now promised not terror and subjugation, but wonder and brotherhood. The legacy of Earth's revelation would echo through eternity, a testament to the indomitable spirit of life itself.